Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2017 found footage horror film Boots on the Ground, a film that is written and directed by Louis Melville, and it focuses on a squad of British soldiers on the last night of the Afghan War, who not only are trying to stay alive from the pursuing Taliban, but they stumble upon this seemingly abandoned complex that is actually housing what looks to be hundreds of millions of pounds of stolen money, which leads some of the squaddies into temptation. They want the money for themselves, but actually also within this complex is some kind of supernatural entity that affects them all in different ways, and it then becomes like a fight for survival in regards to trying to get through the night alive and in one piece. I've said it before, I'm a fan of found footage films. Generally speaking, they can be really, really effectively done, and this at times is a really, really effective found footage film, but there are also problems with it. It's the found footage in the sense of is like all the camera work and stuff comes from like the cameras in the soldiers' helmets and things like that, and that comes with a lot of positives and a lot of negatives in the sense of you can't really see what's going on an awful lot of the time, because that's the only real footage that you've got is this poor quality camera in the soldiers' helmets. So when things start happening in this film, whether it be them defending themselves against the Taliban, or whether it's them being confronted by whatever this supernatural entity thing is in this building, you can't really see what's going on. It's too dark, it's too chaotic and too confusing, and this film ultimately is incredibly frustrating to watch an awful lot of the time. And some found footage films benefit from that, and some don't. And I don't feel as though this one does. And the reason this one doesn't is you've no real clue what's going on here in this. It's almost like are these soldiers in purgatory? Are they already dead? Or is there something else going on? It doesn't give you any explanations. Not that I feel I need one every time I watch a film, but you get nothing really here. It leaves it all open to interpretation. Now, other found footage films like As Above, So Below, which I thought was excellent, that explained itself far better, and it still managed to be massively effective in its scares. And I think this one would have benefited more from a bit more lore and a bit more exposition and something. Do you know what I mean? And there was nothing really here. It's just these 5 soldiers in this like abandoned building, talking to each other, getting cross with each other, going off, wandering off into the dark alone, which always seemed stupid to me. And then there's like this, all you really see is like this mist and things coming at them, but then you see all sorts of different things. You see them having visions of things, or are they visions, are they real? You see a creature at one point, what's going on there? You don't really see it again. So there's a lot of effective things going on in a sense of individually when you look at them as an individual scene or something like that. Like I say, the creature was really scary, and this mist coming at people was effectively done, and the actors did a really good job for the most part of conveying their fear through the camera, especially the actress who Sally Day, who was like the one female squaddie within the group who was on her first tour. You could really feel her fear and tension, and that worked really, really well in found footage films. If you can sense the fear of the actors, it translates usually to an audience member. So it does that well, for the most part, and the paranoia that sets into these squaddies, it's almost Thing-like, the John Carpenter Thing film. You know, the distrust and paranoia that film generates with its cast. A similar thing happens here to a lesser degree, but I just reiterate again that the poor lighting and the poor quality camera work really harmed this film in a sense of I think it could have been really, really scarier. They could have ramped up the scares a little bit more, and I'm sure probably due to budgetary reasons they were limited as to what they could do and show. But I just think this film would have been so much better if it were just up to notch in regards to the picture quality, and the some explanation as to really what was going on. It leaves too much to interpretation in my mind, but I do think at times it was hugely effective. But I just don't think you could ignore the flaws here with this film. It was too dark and too difficult to follow at times, and quite frustrating. So I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. Certainly watchable. If you're a fan of found footage, I think there's some things in this film that you will enjoy. If you're not a fan of found footage, you really won't like this one, that's for sure. So I hope you enjoyed my review for Boots on the Ground. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And of course, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time on Screen Stars.